इसरो के पास उस समय, इंडिया के पास उस समय कोई स्पेस प्रोग्राम नहीं था. नाउ वी हैव गगनयान, उस समय कुछ नहीं था. I was directly speaking to ISRO chairman on this, and he said, Jatin, we do not have any program such of that right now. And छोटा सा बच्चा सोचता है यार अगर इसरो चेयरमैन नहीं भेजेगा ना तो मैं खुद का रॉकेट बना के चले जाऊंगा. That sounds exactly, that sounds foolish. People might laugh at it, but that is exactly what I did. I tried to make my own rocket. Freshly teenage आया and आप स्कूल सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं जाते हो क्योंकि पढ़ना है. आप स्कूल इसलिए जाते हो क्योंकि सिर्फ देखेंगे कोई है, कोई क्लास में आ रहा है. That is the reason you are coming to your school, to your college. और कुछ बोल नहीं रहे, सिर्फ देख रहे. That is the first phase of life, love, what I call as speaking. The second is knowing about them, not from them. फिर वो एक दोस्त होता है हर एक का जो उसकी दोस्त से कनेक्टेड होता है, जिसके बाद जैसे कारोबार में चीज पास होकर लेते हैं, बट यू नो इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम दैट. अच्छा वो यहाँ रखते हैं, ये बस से जाती है, स्टार्ट लाइक छोटी छोटी डिटेल्स, वो जो फीलिंग है वो बढ़ रही है इसमें. देन यू मूव अहेड, अपने को पता चलता है इसका तो बॉयफ्रेंड था, इसकी तो गर्लफ्रेंड था, और मे बी उसको ये नहीं पता, उसको कुछ वो पसंद है जो मुझे नहीं पसंद है, मुझे वो पसंद है जो उसे नहीं पसंद है. A lot of things goes on in your head कि भाई मैंने तो उससे बात, दिस इज द स्टेज आपने बात भी नहीं किया पर फिर भी हार्ट ब्रेक हो चुका. बट यू नो व्हाट लव टीचेस यू, you still accept them for what they are, and you look for something else. कि भाई ठीक है, हो सकता है मैं ओपन हैमर देखूंगा, वो बार भी देखेगी, बट ठीक है तारक मेहता का उल्टा चश्मा भी देख लेंगे शाम को. ठीक है, you try to find short common things जिससे आपका कॉमन इंटरेस्ट होगा. वेरी सिंपल. अब ठीक है, एवरीथिंग वेल गुड, रिलेशनशिप में आ गए, हाइपोथेटिकली एवरीथिंग इज नाइस, चार्मिंग, पर बोर हो गए क्योंकि रोज वही शेड्यूल. सो पीपल इन रिलेशनशिप माइट नो, पीपल हु आर सिंगल माइट फैंटेसाइज दैट दे नीड टू स्पाइस देयर लाइफ. ठीक है, सो दिस इज अनदर स्टेज ऑफ लव लाइफ, व्हाट आई कॉल. इवेंचुअली हार्ट ब्रेक होता है, and it is a part of the love cycle. Eventually it comes at some point or the other. And the last part is, ये बहुत लोग मिस कर जाते हैं कि why was he or she beautiful, जिसके लिए I simply summarize it by usually a lot of people compare their partner to moon, कि यार तो चांद जैसा दिखता है. What I put it here is, आज चांद तुझसा खूबसूरत दिख रहा है, इसलिए नहीं सिर्फ वो महज का टुकड़ा, जमीन का टुकड़ा जिस पे मैं खड़े हो, जिस पे तुम खड़े हो, सिर्फ वो जमीन का टुकड़ा मुझे इतना खूबसूरत दिख रहा है क्योंकि मैं उसे खूबसूरत देख पा रहा हूँ. दिस इज द बेसिकली समरी ऑफ 7 पॉइंट्स जिसमें आप कोई भी लव डिटरमाइन कर सकते हो. अब हाउ इज दैट कनेक्टेड टू रॉकेट साइंस? Rocket science, space science is like teenage. Why? Everybody talks about it. Ki yaar space. Nobody knows what is happening initially, but everybody is talking about it. ISRO ने नया launch किया है, NASA. Nobody really knows around what is happening in the space industry, why it is important, and what it actually does. Nobody knows how to do it. Nobody. Coming from insider news, you can say that nobody in the ecosystem except ISRO and some of the organizations, nobody knows what they are doing. Nobody. They just know कि rocket बनाना है. That is it. They don't know how to build it. They don't know why to build it, and the list goes on. Everyone thinks everybody else is doing it. Everybody think that if space is the new era, everybody is coming in. चंद्रयान 3 का सब नई स्टोरी लगाया. Nobody knows why that was put there for. So everybody is showing interest in the space science. So everybody claims they are doing it too. Again, सब story लगाएंगे, सब बताएंगे कि हाँ, we are very much interested into space and we are keeping updates and we are going to have next launch. But that is not enough. Again ये slide और वो slide का क्या connection था? We'll come back. The small journey I had. People who are from middle-aged households might relate that एक समय आता है मिडिल क्लास घरों में ना, आपके पास पापा मम्मी ने तो डांट दिया पर रोने के लिए जगह नहीं है, घर पे रो नहीं सकते, एंड बिकॉज इट इज टू ह्यूमिलिएटिंग, तो क्या करें? तब एक चीज दिमाग में आई, जब आप छत पे जाते थे, अकेले बैठते थे, कुछ नहीं है दिमाग में, बस अपने प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में सोच रहे हो, एंड यू लुक अप एंड यू फाइंड स्टार्स एंड यू फाइंड पीस. हुआ है किसी के साथ? हुआ है किसी के साथ? तो दैट इज द फेज वेयर आई स्टार्टेड माई रॉकेट या स्पेस का इंटरेस्ट. दैट इज बाय पीपिंग इनटू स्टार्स. बस देख रहे, आई डोंट नो स्टार्स क्या होते, just looking into it. Then I started knowing about them. पता चला कि हाँ स्टार्स, अच्छा ओके ये सन जैसे ही होते हैं. स्मॉल बेसिक डिटेल्स. How many of you have heard about the formula F is equal to ma? Ladies and gentlemen, the formula is wrong. There comes my first knowledge heartbreak. F is equal to ma, and a lot of other equations which we study in school does not really work in rocket science. So there is the part where I had my knowledge heartbreak कि यार ये क्या हो गया, ये तो basic था. Then I started considering again the common aspects what we had in space. Tried to understand कि अच्छा ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, and I tried to change my ideology towards space. Here comes the most interesting story. I'm sorry for the slides. Spicing up. I always wanted to be an astronaut. बचपन में शायद सबने ख्वाब देखा होगा कि स्पेस में जाएंगे. मेरा भी वही ख्वाब था, पर मैं बड़ा नहीं हो पाया. I was very much indulged into rocket science, but इसरो के पास उस समय, इंडिया के पास उस समय कोई स्पेस प्रोग्राम नहीं था. Now we have गगनयान, उस समय कुछ नहीं था. I was directly speaking to ISRO chairman on this, and he said, Jatin, we do not have any program such of that right now. And छोटा सा बच्चा सोचता है यार अगर इसरो चेयरमैन नहीं भेजेगा ना तो मैं खुद का रॉकेट बना के चले जाऊंगा. That sounds foolish. People might laugh at it, but that is exactly what I did. I tried to make my own rocket, intending to go, being selfish, intending to go into space someday. But that is the beauty of love. See, if you pursue your career as something you wanted to do, jisse badi gaadi, badi paisa, a lot of good things can be done. But again, तब आपको हो सकता है कि यार चिढ़ आने लगे आपकी दिक्कत से. But the best thing about love is, आप माफ कर देते हो ना. अब वो इंसान हो, करियर हो. Best thing about my career is we have 99% of failure, but if I love it, I can make through it. I know. So we had a couple of tests where we basically bursted engines worth a couple of crores. But that's the beauty about it, na? Love में आप माफ कर देते हो. We tried to build it again, and today itself I was introducing this to Dr. Patni that we are trying to make the cryogenic engine, which is basically heart of rockets, with waste material produced by cows. So apparently if my thing works, and it is almost at the end of POC, we will have a rocket engine which will be working on waste material of cows poop and urine basically. And that is how these 7 aspects help you to reach whatever profession you want. It's just that you need to know how to love it. It is not that you have to go to college and study it every day. It is the small processes what matters. Until and unless you feel about that field, and I think you would very much agree that an entrepreneur who is not passionate about his startup is a failed entrepreneur himself. So these are the aspects you need to think about, and I don't wish to talk about heartbreak too and the other part, because this is the thing. I don't want my startup to fail. Apart from that, कुछ बेसिक लाइफ एस्पेक्ट्स भी है प्यार के अलावा जो आपको आना चाहिए. इफ यू हैव कंट्रोल ओवर दिस यू कैन विन द वर्ल्ड. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू बिलीव इन सेल्फ लव? So I would just say that छोड़ दो. See, the thing is, in the ecosystem we are working in, self-love beyond an expectation is really bad. What happens is you pamper yourself so much that you are not open to a lot of challenges in this world. Every small problem can be hyped up. So you need to have a small balance where you love yourself but also be cruel to you. I remember days where I used to push myself into the most cruelest side so that I could say कि भाई किसी दिन स्टेज पे आएंगे तो एक कहानी सुनाने लायक होगी. So simple aspect to push yourself. How many of you thinks कि यार किसी का सिलेक्शन हो जाता है, किसी को फेवर मिल जाता है just because वो सुंदर है, just because वो लड़की है. Things happen. I would say I'm very lucky to be born as male and to look ugly. The reason is because I know if I'm getting a certain achievement, a certain height, this is because of my work, to be specific, and nothing else. Also, there is a common saying कि यार जो जज करते हैं यार उनको छोड़ो यार. मतलब that is a common saying कि जज करने वालों को बुरा देखा जाता है. I would suggest you keep people around who judge you constantly so that you can get updates basically कि हाँ where have you reached, what are the other milestones you can work on. Basic चीज़ें कुछ. Also in the entrepreneurship journey I understood a good thing. यार हमको आज की जनरेशन में ना सब कुछ जानना है. अगर हमने स्विगी से कुछ ऑर्डर किया है, मेरे को जानना है ड्राइवर कौन से चौक पे खड़ा है, कहाँ है, कितने बजे आएगा, कितने मिनट पे आएगा, कहाँ. द सिंपल थिंग इज क्यों वो एट द एंड वो उतने ही समय में आने वाला है, राइट? सो दिस इज अ थिंग. इफ यू गेट इनटू एनी I won't be very specific to rocket science, but I'll give example of that. रॉकेट साइंस में कई सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हैं, कई सारे फार्मूलाज ऐसे हैं. इफ़ यू अप्लाई दैट इन अ 10th क्लास या 12th क्लास का फिजिक्स यू विल फेल. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट जस्ट फार्मूलाज, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कंसेप्ट. इफ आई इंक्लूड क्वांटम फिजिक्स, क्वांटम एंटेंगलमेंट, अ लॉट ऑफ लॉज ऑफ फिजिक्स आर डिफरेंट देयर. तो अगर मुझे सब पता होगा तो मैं फोकस नहीं कर पाऊंगा. आई विल हैव अ लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन इन माय हेड. So it is very important to know what to know and only what to know. उसके आगे you don't have to push your limits. And the fifth point, I won't deny it. Everything, every action you take should be, very focused कि भाई अपन जो जिए मस्त जिए. And creating history basically कि even if you have to relive your own life, इनिशियल 4 पॉइंट डिनाई कर दिए, बस 5वां स्टिक टू कि वट एवर यू हैव डिड, इफ यू गेट अ लाइफ टू रिलिव इट यू विल डू इट एज वेल. सो दैट वुड बी ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड. यस सर.
Jatin, I would like you to Jatin, I would like you to talk about certain things which are essential and we don't know. India as a, let's say, poor country, why does it need a space program first of all? And what was the achievement out of Mission Moon for a common man? I mean, we as individuals, we just are celebrating that Chand pe gaye, but why did we go there? What was achieved out of that? Probably you are a scientist and you can reflect upon that clearly.
Definitely. So how many of you use or have ever used Uber, Ola, Swiggy, Zomato or Google Maps? Probably all of you. That tech is because of space industry, first of all. So every time you open a map, there is a satellite. In fact, there are 3 satellites minimum working for you to get a precise position. So starting from a basic thing that ordering food and getting it delivered, वो basic चीज भी is connected to space science. What else happens in space is there are a lot of medical researches. There are a lot of medicines we don't have good labs in the entire world, if I would be precise, so that the world won't be contaminated. So we conduct those experiments in space, so that hypothetically, if a virus or another bacteria hits the planet, we can still save it, and we have already done those experiments out in space. What more can be done is, life on Earth is very limited. Resources are limited. We have limited span jab tak ye Earth exists karega. There are a lot of other factors. What we are trying to do over other planets or other satellites is getting data that if life is possible on another planet. Also, there is a very interesting thing people usually do not think about is, we have a periodic table in our chemistry subject, and we think these are the elements which exist, but possibility of new elements, if there are any, that is also carried out in space. And again, telling you a small fact which the space studies has generated recently. The white energy we talk about around us and the white matter, basically matter and energy what we talk about, is comprising less than 30% of the universe. What is the next 70%? We don't know. That is the amount of unknown we have. We don't know how the materials react. There is a possibility if you drop that element, it will go up. It might go against gravity. We don't know anything about those particles. And hypothetically, if we found those particles, we can generate infinite amount of energy. So that is again an aspect. So there are a lot of things which can happen. If I talk about Chandrayaan 3 specifically, it is not just an achievement to reach the moon. First achievement was, if we are able to take something over another planet or another heavenly body across space, that is, first of all, that is a confidence for us that, okay, if this can be done, we can send humans. We won't risk human life elsewise. So this is the first thing Chandrayaan mission was supposed to prove. Second was, of course, there were a lot of research, specifically in moon, if I say, if we have water in moon, we can use it as a for easy understanding, charging station for rockets. It can be refueled over there, it can be maintained over there, so it can propel itself. Basically, gravity on moon is 1/6 of that of Earth. Agar aap yahan 60 kgs ke, you might be 10 kgs there. So what happens is, sorry, 6 kgs ke. What happens is, agar aap wahan se lift off karoge, you can have much higher velocity, much higher vector velocities as well, so that you can propel way too far in way less fuel. That is what the research was about. That. Thank you so much.
Thank you.